What's up, folks? Sean the Average Angler, and this is the first video after redoing the back wall. The backdrop looks a little bit cleaner, if you will. I don't know. Does to me anyway. All right, so today we are going to talk about a technique that it's not new, but quite honestly, it's been kept pretty quiet. People aren't talking about it a whole lot. Now, it's kind of a cross between a few techniques, but this is kind of specialized, and you'll see when I show you the rig. We all know how effective drop shotting is, okay? And for those of you that are fortunate enough to have not been around when it first started, and I say fortunate enough because it means you're young. Most of the viewers on my channel are closer to my age. I don't know why. Maybe it's the hairdo. Fresh haircut, guys. I'm looking good today. Feeling good, too. All right. So anyway, this technique is similar to drop shotting, except it's done with a power rod. Now, I would have said flip and stick, punch rod, but you don't have to use a flip and stick or a punch rod. It's really going to depend on where you're doing it. And again, keep watching, because I'm telling you, if you start experimenting with this, you'll be glad you did. Okay, so here's another rod I could do it with. My iRod 754 heavy, okay? 7'5" heavy action rod, okay? I got 15-pound big game on here. That would be fine for certain situations. What are those situations? Okay. Maybe tules, sparse tules, some not too thick grass. And then I could go up to my 775 flip and stick, or I could get all the way up into the punch rod, okay? The flip and stick's plenty. 20-pound test should be good in most cases if you're not dealing with vines or heavy, thick roots, that kind of stuff. Okay, because like I said, this is essentially drop shotting, bubba shotting, it's power shotting, okay? But what we're going to talk about today is more Tule dipping. And this is, you'll see right here, very seldom talked about, Tule dipping. Now, for those that aren't familiar, again, because you're younger, or maybe you just don't know the history of flipping, and D. Thomas and Dave Glebe started the whole flipping technique out on the California Delta way back in the day. And back then it wasn't called flipping, it was called Tule dipping. And they did it with very long rods. After they won a few tournaments, D went back east, won some tournaments. They got flack. The guys they were beating up on started complaining, and lo and behold, rod length restrictions came into play. Now, most of us today probably used to that. It was 7'6" at one point. Then a lot of organizations went to 8 foot, and now some organizations have the rod restrictions completely lifted again. And I'm gonna show you a rod that I have for the springtime. Well, Skeet Reese years ago came out. Everybody remembers the yellow rods. Well, they had an extendable 9.5 foot. It was classified as a swim bait rod. That rod was beautiful for this in the springtime, because what you do in the springtime is you reach over the tops of the tules and you lower the rig into holes. Let me tell you, it's deadly. It's still deadly to this day. But right now we're coming up on fall, so we're talking about another little way of doing this. Now, in my area in Clear Lake, the Delta, Clear Lake, the fish are in the grass, the live grass, not the dying stuff. Find the lively stuff, the bright green, healthy grass, okay? We're still pretty good here in California, unless it's been sprayed, because our weather is still fairly moderate. Cooler overnight temps, no freezing temps yet that I'm aware of. And then warmer days. Today it's nice. I got my garage open. It's not hot in here. I was actually painting some lures. But here's the rig. And this is made by the red one. And the bait that I really like to use is this little craw bait. And it's made by Missile Baits. It's called the Craw Father. I don't need to tell you that Missile makes a lot of great colors, okay? You look at this one from the side, lots of great colors. There's some blue and screen pumpkin, okay? I got a bunch of them up there. The beauty of this rig compared to others that you might say, well, what's the difference? What do they call them? Tokyo rigs, I think. Is you see the pointed weight, okay? That pointed weight goes right through stuff really easy. The hook slides up there and it'll go right on down. And you don't have to use a real heavy weight. That's why these come in 3/4 and 1 ounce. Okay, as far as I know, they haven't made a bigger one. Quite honestly, I think a lot of times we could use a smaller one. But this isn't necessarily meant to be thrown up in the air and punched through like a lot of stuff. Now you can use a lot of different baits on this. This is a 5/0 or 4/0 EWG Superline hook. Very strong, okay? The whole rig is very strong. Not going to worry about breaking it off. And trust me, they eat it just fine. The idea here is to drop a bait into areas where if other people are punching, you look at this weight, right? What is that? 1 3/4 ounce. It'll focus there. There you go, 1 3/4 ounce. And this 1 ounce. This is going to go through way easier. And by using a thinner bait like the Craw Father, there's plenty of size there to get bit. And you got these nice tentacles, and there's a lot of baits on the market you can use, right? Mid-sized brush hog. I really like the mid-sized brush hog. Problem is it doesn't come in a ton of colors, but use your imagination. Whatever you like flipping, you can put on there. I just suggest something that's thinner because it pulls through easier. The idea is to pull through stuff that people are punching, but do it much lighter, so that once that bait falls through there, it just falls a little slower. They're used to seeing shit come rocking by them. If you're dipping, right, which means you have your line out, you're reaching out, and you're just lowering into it, you can lower it in and let it go through slower. This is a great rig to be different. I talk about being different all the time. This is a really, really good one. The word really hasn't gotten out on the Tule dipping. The people that know, they know, and they keep it within their circle. I may get some hate for it, who knows. This technique is deadly in the springtime, like I mentioned, but it's also deadly in the fall. Tackle Warehouse has these. They're not ordering them because they're not selling, okay? They do sell, they do work. Give them a try. It's the red one is what it's called. Tungsten Miller Punch and Weights, okay? He also sells just the weights. I have some in the boat. Again, same thing for punching. These things go through really easy. Give them a try. Sean the Average Angler. Oh. I just painted a bait like I mentioned. let me finish it and I'm going to show you guys, okay? Because it's kind of out there, but it's fall and it's something a little different, okay? That's what I like about painting. No one else has what I got. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.